Hi everyone, and welcome back to my tutorial series where I show you some places I like to buy my K-pop albums and merchandise from. And today I'll be covering Amazon Japan. And Amazon Japan is a Japanese version of the regular Amazon site. And you see here the URL is a little different. And so I like to use Amazon Japan mostly for making pre-orders for new Japanese releases from my favorite K-pop groups. And so today I'll be doing a tutorial about how you could go about that, and also show you some places where you could find some really great deals on some other regular K-pop albums using this site. And so to begin with, I am using the English version of this site, so you could change the settings here. And so I'm also already logged into my account, and it's been a few years since I've made my account on Amazon Japan, but I've been told that you could just use your regular Amazon account from say the US site or wherever your country is, and use your password to log into the Japanese site. Before I had to make a separate account, which wasn't a big deal. You could use the same email address. And for payment, you have to use a credit card if you do not live in Japan. They don't use PayPal or other methods of payment or bank transfers. Just like the regular Amazon site, they accept credit cards. And before I go on to how to pre-order albums using Amazon Japan, I just wanted to point out this new feature on the Amazon app. And so on the Amazon shopping app, you could actually change your country settings to Japan here. And they do have an option to have everything translated into English, which means you could order things easily using that mobile app if you wish, instead of just using your PC like I'm doing for this tutorial. So that's a cool feature. So now on to the tutorial for pre-ordering new albums. So Joonho has a new album coming out in July, and they do have pre-orders available. So we could just search Joonho here. And this is his new album release. And there are 3 different versions you could buy on Amazon Japan. So there is the limited version A, limited version B, and the regular edition. And all these versions will be coming out on July 11th of this year. But you may notice that instead of just 3 versions being listed here, there are 6. And the reason for that, if we click on this first one here, you see that this is just the cheaper regular edition, but the one for the same price listed below it has this printed in front of it. And even though we're on the English site for Amazon Japan, they don't always translate things into English. So I'm using my Chrome browser right now, and sometimes Google Translate kicks in and translates things for you, but a lot of times it's just handy to have Google Translate right here, so you can see what is written. And so this indicates that that specific version will come with an early purchase benefit or a pre-order benefit. And a lot of times whenever you're doing these pre-orders, it's best to find these things if that is something that interests you, and especially if it will cost the same as the regular version without that pre-order benefit. So here they don't really have a product description telling you what the pre-order benefit is. A lot of times you can maybe look on CD Japan and see what they're advertising as the pre-order benefit, and that's usually the same thing as what Amazon Japan offers. But I'll show you another CD listing in a bit, and that does explain what the pre-order benefit is. But back to pre-ordering Joonho's new album, Imagine. You'll also notice that if we look at this version, which is the version A, so this will come with a CD and DVD. And here is also version A with the pre-order benefit, but it does cost quite a bit more. So the difference between these two is almost 700 yen. So if you end up ordering multiple of these, and usually for 2 PM's pre-order benefit, it's usually a clear file. So if you don't want multiples of these, it's best to maybe buy one of these versions with the pre-order benefit. So I could pre-order this one, for example. And if you want that nice discount on the CD, because here, with the pre-order benefit for version A, 3,300 yen is the manufacturer price. But if you want this nice discounted version that doesn't come with the pre-order benefit, it sometimes makes sense to just pre-order this one, just so that you save a little bit of money. And likewise for version B here, this is the regular version B without a pre-order benefit. And then this one here is so you see I've already ordered this when pre-orders happened, so we could ignore this. But this also comes with a pre-order benefit, and it costs the same. So you may as well just order this if this was the version you wanted to buy. So I'm going to put all three versions in my cart and proceed to check out. And so here you can just kind of review again that these are the things you want to buy and what prices they are, and be reminded that they are coming out July 11th, so these are going to be pre-order purchases. You can proceed to check out. So here they automatically place me to the place order part of their checkout process. You can go back and change things, but I've ordered from Amazon Japan so many times that I have the same shipping and payment method. And here they explain that because you are doing a pre-order, they have what's called a pre-order price guarantee. And so that means that if somehow whatever items you ended up pre-ordering, the price drops between the time you placed the pre-order and the item is shipped to you, Amazon will only charge you the lowest price within that time. So I've had this happen to me a few times where the price would drop between the time I placed my pre-order and the item was shipped to me. And so they'll just email you telling you that they're charging your credit card less than what you agreed when you clicked place order before. And here, if you want to change your payment method, these are all your payment options you could do. If you do not live in Japan, credit cards are really the only option, and they do accept all the major credit card companies here. The mobile carrier billing, I think, is just within Japan, and you could also apply gift cards and promotional codes, but for gift cards, it has to be a specific amazon.co.jp. So it has to be an Amazon Japan gift card. You can't apply gift cards you get for the other Amazon stores. And then scrolling down here, they'll tell you an estimate for the delivery date. And I really like to pre-order my Amazon Japan orders, mostly because my pre-orders get to me within 2 days. So they are very good with shipping things out on the day of the release. So most likely what's going to happen for this specific order is they'll ship out all these things on July 11th in Japan. And because I live in the US on the West Coast, it just takes 2 days to get to me. So I expect in the US to get this on July 12th, which is 2 days from July 11th in Japan. So so you get these really fast. And they use DHL shipping for their Amazon Global Priority Shipping program. And that's why it gets to me really fast, and also why it's pretty cheap. I'll go more over shipping prices in a second. But first, I wanted to point out that the yen prices are actually cheaper than what was listed on the Amazon listing. So if we go back to that listing, and remember I ordered the pre-order benefit version for the regular CD, but here, instead of charging me 2,000 yen, they're only charging 1,852 yen. Likewise, for version A, I ended up ordering this one, so this was 2,595 yen, but here they're charging you 2,403 yen. And then this one was regularly 2,700 yen, and they're only charging 2,500 yen. And the reason why these are cheaper than what was on the listing is because they're taking out the tax, because they're not shipping this to you within Japan, so you don't need to pay the Japanese tax on these items, which is a nice benefit. If you order from some other Japanese stores, a lot of times you will have that tax added on to your order. And so Amazon makes it simple by just deducting the tax automatically, which is nice. And now going back to our summary here, here they'll tell you how much all the items add up to, as well as how much shipping and handling will cost. So I found that ordering multiple CDs at once is the best way to go about for shipping benefits. So say I save all these for later and I just go ahead and order the regular CD. Shipping and handling is going to be $9.50. But if we decide to add one more to our cart, shipping is then 1,300 yen. So they just add 350 yen for that additional CD. Or, again, if with all 3 CDs, it's 1,650 yen. So it looks like whenever you order something from Amazon Japan, the first item will cost 950 yen in shipping, and each additional item will be 350 yen. So it does make sense to order multiple things at once rather than one at a time, if possible. And one trick that I've actually used, if I'm only interested in ordering one CD on pre-order, is I would add to my cart some other CDs that I've already released and are currently in stock on Amazon Japan. And so that way I save a bit on shipping. And what also happens is because the pre-order is usually well in advance to the pre-order release, Amazon Japan will actually ship the already in stock items to you within a few days, rather than wait to ship to you with your pre-order item. So I found that to be a nice little trick to use if there's something else that interests you on their website. So once you have all the things you wanted to order in your cart, you can place order. But do be aware that when you do place your order, you'll be charged, your credit card will be charged when they ship in Japanese yen. So you'll have to be careful with your credit card and make sure you don't have a foreign currency fee. The credit card I use doesn't have a foreign transaction fee for different currencies. So just look into the details of your credit card and see how much that fee will be, or if your credit card doesn't have that fee. But once you're happy with your order, you can go ahead and place your order. But say you have this album pre-ordered, but you actually don't think you'll have the funds, or you want to cancel your pre-order for some reason. You could do that really easily on Amazon Japan. Just go to orders here. And this last order I placed is with those 3 CDs. And so if we go to order details, you can modify some things. So you could change the shipping address here and also change your payment method. So say you have a new credit card that doesn't have a foreign transaction fee, you could switch out your credit card here to avoid those fees. And also if somehow you have a gift card, you could apply that to your balance too here. But here you're able to cancel your order. And if you wanted, say, just only version B and not these other 2 versions, you could just keep this version, but cancel both of these along with the 350 yen per each CD for shipping. Or you could cancel just all of them at once, which I'll do since I already have this album pre-ordered. And so it's very simple to do, and it's been canceled without any questions. Another thing to be cautious about when it comes to pre-ordering is not all the Japanese companies will allow their CDs to be sold outside of Japan. So an example of this is Red Velvet's new mini album. So if we type in Red Velvet cookie jar, this is another thing to be aware of. Since I type this in English, they automatically translate Red Velvet cookie jar into Japanese, but the album itself is actually in English. So you have to be a little careful when searching for things on here. So it's best to maybe just do a broad search for a group, and then you can find cookie jar right here. So here, it looks like you can pre-order this here, but be careful because it doesn't really say that it will ship to the US here. And so that should be your first red flag that you may not be able to pre-order this, even though this is being sold and shipped by Amazon Japan. And the thing with some SM groups, like Red Velvet and FX, is that their products, I think it's distributed from Avex, and they have some policy where they don't want their albums to be shipped outside Japan. So even if you pre-order this, even with the pre-order benefit, which in this case is a postcard, which I think may look like this. I'm not really sure the details. But if we add this to our pre-order cart and proceed to check out, it's going to tell you that to send to this shipping address, which is outside Japan, they can't do. So you can't actually pre-order this. Instead, you're going to have to use a proxy site. So you can check out my Zen Market tutorial, and you can pre-order Red Velvet's Cookie Jar album using Zen Market. And it's a very simple process. You're not going to get it as fast as pre-orders straight from Amazon Japan, but it's a good alternative if you can't order these straight through Amazon Japan. And now briefly, I'm going to show you how you can find some really good deals on other Japanese albums that are not up for pre-order. So you could shop by department and go to music. And go to CDs and vinyl here. And if you're interested in K-pop albums, so this will be both Japanese and Korean releases, you could go to Asian Pop here. And they'll have all these different options available for you that you can buy. Though a word of caution is you can only buy things from Amazon.co.Japan to do the Amazon Global Shipping Program. There are a few other places, like this store will ship internationally, but it's going to be more expensive. So I suggest searching for just Amazon Japan. And what I like to do is, because there's so many different pages, so there's over 9,000 CDs you can be looking at, and these are like the new ones are usually recommended first. So you see TVXQ's new album that's up for pre-order, BTS, and all these other groups. If you want to find the better deals, it's best to just sort this by low and high. So this could be a little tedious, but you could find some really cheap CDs here, like especially if they have this red bargain on them. And you can just kind of go through here, and I've only have this at Asian Pop, so there are some Japanese and Chinese releases here, but you should be able to see, but you should be able to find a lot of K-pop things as well. Like all these really cheap 2 PM Promise I'll Be CDs, as well as a few others. So again, it's going to probably take you a little bit. Like, look how cheap Kara's solo album is. You could get a really cheap Girls' Generation Party single. Infinite Season 2 is really cheap. And the same shipping process that I explained during the pre-order tutorial will apply here. So the first CD is going to be 950 yen, and each additional CD will be 350 yen. So if you end up buying multiple CDs, you're going to be paying on average less than $4 per shipping for each CD. And if you're getting them at these prices, you could find some really great deals. And as I mentioned earlier, you can add these albums to your cart for checkout for pre-order albums. And these will be shipped to you fairly quickly, while the pre-order albums will be shipped to you right after they're released. So that's a nice little trick if you want a few of these albums now, but also you want something pre-ordered, and you save on shipping that way. So that was it for my Amazon Japan tutorial. I hope this was helpful. I mostly just covered how to pre-order Japanese albums, as well as how to find good deals on this site for CDs specifically. But you can also order other things. Like you see, I've been looking at traveler's notebooks and considering buying those on here. And there's plenty of other cool things you could buy on Amazon Japan, not just CDs. And if you do find things on here that are not shipped through Amazon Japan's specific store, you can use places like Zen Market to order from them pretty seamlessly. So this is just a really good option that I think a lot of K-pop fans don't really know about, or they're intimidated to try out, but it's actually fairly simple, and you can find some really great deals on here. So that was it for this video. Again, if you guys have any questions regarding Amazon Japan, be sure to leave them in the comments down below. I'll try my best to answer them. There may be some things that I forgot to mention. I will I'll list those things in the description box, or just answer them if they come up in the comment section. So stay tuned to part 3, where I will probably be going over Japonica, which is another proxy site I like to use for buying things on Japanese flea market sites. So until then, bye guys.